Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back for another ABJ podcast, Not Cool in High School edition. We're going to be covering the rapper NF and the album The Search. So this is an album that was picked by my co-host today on camera, Lily. I don't know anything or much about NF. I think I may have heard a song here and there. Nothing that I've really sat and consumed or gave an honest opinion or an honest try for. This is an artist that a lot of people, I'm like, hey, give me an album to review. And NF has come up a few times. People say I would probably like them. I should listen to them. Yeah, so full disclosure, today was the day was weird. We recorded
Chapel
Roan, and then I passed out for a while. I needed a mental recharge. Not because of the music, I just think life and the weekend and all that. And then I woke up to a video of my past, and I'm kind of in my feels a little bit, so I'm sipping on a little something right now while we do this, which is probably a terrible idea because Lily said this song's gonna tug at a lot of heartstrings. So
this album, yeah.
I'm gonna try not to cry today.
I chose this album. And one of the reasons I chose this album is because when it came out was around the time that I moved to Texas. So I was going through a really, really, really difficult time in my life. And it came out a few months after I moved to Texas, but I didn't really start consuming it until I was moving back this way. Okay. But I feel like I've said it, I told you earlier, I feel like there's a few albums that I listened to by NF that I really feel like helped save me. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know much about NF, but a lot of the stuff I'm going to be reading here is going to be based off of Wikipedia, and we all know that that is not always reliable, so don't hold me to it. Nathan John Fernstein, born March 30th, 1991, is known as NF, stylized as N, backwards NF. American rapper, singer-songwriter, and record producer. He has released 2 EPs, I'm Free, and is self-titled in 2014 with capital CGM. His second and first major record studio album, Mansion was released in March 21st, 2015. His third studio album, Therapy Session, was released in April 2016, and he peaked at number 12 on the Billboard music charts. His albums have earned several accolades, which some have included the Gospel Music Association Dove Award for Rap and Hip Hop Album, the Year Therapy Session in 2016, and Rap Hip Hop Recorded Song of the Year, Oh Lord, in 2017. So that's where I had my disconnect with NF.
But you haven't even heard the song Oh Lord.
That was my disconnect.
I wish you would just even give it a shot.
And
you're going to today.
Some of the stuff in my past has a lot to do with church and religion because where I kind of fell into a little thing today. I got to see an older video of a woman. I called mom. I loved her a lot. A lot of my brothers were not connected as we used to before, and I hope that changes. But yeah, so he is more known as a gospel rapper, right? No cursing, no.
I feel like you have such a negative context on it for what you think that it is.
I just don't want it to be preachy.
It's not. It's not at all. But you haven't given it that shot because all you've heard is gospel, and you take gospel to the Bible thumper.
I'm gonna drink a double shot of whiskey while listening to a gospel album.
You're not drinking a double shot of whiskey. You're drinking a double shot mixed drink.
Mixed drink.
It's different if it was just a straight double shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So this album is called The Search. It's pretty popular. 20 songs we'll be listening to on Spotify. It is his 4th studio album. It was released January 26, 2019 through NF Real Music and Caroline. It preceded the singles Why, The Search, When I Grow Up, and Time. It features a sole collaboration, only one collaboration on the entire album, which is pretty interesting, with Sasha and Alex Sloan. And trying to see what else we got here. It had mixed reviews from music critics, and it debuted in the Billboard's Top 200, becoming NF's second #1 album, U.S. #1 album, and it's a follow-up to his 2017 Perception. So we'll go through a little more of that as we go. Like I said, I'm coming in completely blind. Some of the song titles here is The Search, Leave Me Alone, Changes, My Stress, Nate, Time, Returns, When I Grow Up, Only, that's a Sasha Sloan collaboration. Let Me Go. Interlude, Hate Myself. I Miss These Days. No Excuses. Like This. Opinions. Why. Thinking. Trauma. And then the last track is going to be Time, edited version. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much all I got. Before we get into anything, why did you said you kind of told us why you picked this one. I kind of buried the lead.
Can I just say one other thing really quick? How do you feel about Skillet, the band Skillet?
I haven't really listened to them like that.
But you know like a few of their songs, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's more EDM, right?
Not Skrillex. Skillet.
Skillet, the band.
There's a monster in my head. I'm trying to think of other songs by them. They are like mainstream.
I don't really
However,
know.
they're considered gospel, and it's just like I just wish you wouldn't imagine like. I wish it wasn't a specific connection that like we're going to be talking about God, because we're not going to be talking about God here. The thing about NF is that he's talking, his connection, his religion doesn't necessarily pour into these songs as much as he's just trying to be open about his mental health and like, hey, let's look at this from a non-judgmental point of view.
Okay, that's fair. I guess like when I disconnected with when it comes to the church is bad experiences and just people in general. Just I think they're very judgy. I think a lot of people who lean into religion are lazy, and I think they pray instead of working for what they want, and I think they sit back and wait for things to come to them, and they judge you based on how you live your life, and they think they're better than you because you're not in faith and they are.
Right.
And that kind of stuff rubs me the wrong way. So and I feel like sometimes with music, people obviously put themselves out there in a different light than what they are. So if you're saying that's not what he does, then maybe I will enjoy this. So we'll see
I
how
feel like you're going to heavily enjoy this. But okay, did you have other questions?
No, I think that's pretty much it. When did you first hear about NF?
I first heard about NF, I'll be honest, there's a few songs, you ready for this? There's a few songs from NF that I heard at the strip club when I was dancing.
Wow.
So yeah, there you go. Hail Satan.
Hail
but
Satan.
no, I really enjoyed his flow at first, because I would say that I'm not necessarily, I do kind of stick to one genre that I listen to like on the daily, which is alternative like rock music, but I feel that I'm well versed in a lot of different styles of music. Mm-hmm. And when I first heard NF, I'm like, yo, who is this guy? Like his flow is really good and he's very intelligent the way that he speaks. But then it took me a while to realize that it took me probably until his second album to realize that he even was as big of a Christian as he was, and then everyone being like, oh my gosh, he doesn't curse. And then I'm like, wait a minute, let me go back and listen to the albums that I have, because he's never cursed, not even once. Like he doesn't curse in his raps, so that's
Will
kind
Smith
of like...
don't got to curse in his raps to sell records. Well, I do.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said Will Smith don't have to curse in his rap to sell records. It's an Eminem verse. And I think another thing too, I think growing up as an Eminem fan, and then seeing the backwards N and stuff, I think I was like, oh, this is going to be another white dude who tries to rap like Eminem.
But I feel like, just listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to argue with this.
I'm not arguing. I'm
not
just
that it's an argument, but like,
been.
well, no, I mean, I don't think it's a disconnect though, because I feel like, yeah, he's another white guy who raps really, really fast, who's really, really intelligent. And why is that a bad thing? Like, why is that?
It's not. It's social norms.
But that's what but when you're like, oh, this is just going to be another person trying to be Eminem. So what if it is? What if he is the next Eminem? Like, he's good. Give it a shot.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. All right. So, like I said, we'll be cutting back and forth and doing a lot of editing on this and cutting out the music aspect. But we are going to listen to the first song called "The Search," and I'm going to have the lyrics up. This, I think, might be the most played song on the album. Just kind of skimming through. It is 600.
What about When I Grow Up? Sorry.
No, not even close.
Okay.
This is the most listened to song with 663 million plays.
So I have just
663,000 million. Yeah, 663 million plays. Yeah.
For the record, we're both gonna read along with the lyrics. I feel like I know most of them, but I'm gonna read along with them anyway. Yeah. You're looking at it through Spotify. I'm looking at it through Amazon Music. So on Amazon Music, it doesn't actually tell me the amount of numbers played, but it gives me like a little highlighter bar that tells me which songs have been played the most.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus! Get back up here, camera. What are you looking at, you pervert? Jesus, we're listening to Christian music. Goddamn camera trying to look at my junk. All right, let's get into it. The Search.
It's the same wind going through the... I feel like they're in the...
All right, we're back. First song in the books. The Search is the highest played song on the album. It is the intro to the album. I think it is a intro song to the album. I think if you're conducting an album, this is a good intro. It kind of hypes you up. It gets you in the vibe. It gets you in the mood. It starts you bumping, which is good. I was waiting for it to start. If this is the most listened to on the album, I feel like this is probably one of the most popular songs on the album.
I don't know if it is, to be honest. I think Time actually made it I feel like it was on the billboards and everything.
Okay.
Like it was on the radio and things like that, whereas I don't think a lot of NF songs are on the radio.
Okay. So this song is a good intro to an album, but I don't know if it stands for me as a full song.
Fair.
If that makes sense.
So what I was going to say is, because you haven't listened to a lot of NF, there was a lot of callbacks in this. So he's talking about, I feel like I should pack up and move out of my house. Like the house is getting really lonely. I'm dealing with this, and that. And that's all talking about the previous album, which was Mansion.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a fine intro song. I give it a 2.5 out of 5. I think he does have a good flow. I think the beat was really cool. I think there's no hook, there's no chorus, there's no if this is his style. We're
searching for it. We're looking for that. No, he has choruses.
Okay, all right. So that's where I'll give it a 2.5. I think the lyricism is good. I think the flow is good. But I think when it comes to I'm saying it's a good intro to the song, a good intro to the album. The song itself, like I said, it doesn't have a general song structure. There's no hook. There's no chorus. It just sounds like two really good, a set of good bars, a good freestyle bar, or a good get it off your chest bar.
What I will say about his albums is kind of in the Slim Shady aspect, where he would do the intro, the middle, the outro. NF kind of structures his albums.
There's an interlude in the middle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very I wanted to compare it to Eminem a little bit. I don't want to do that to him and put him in that box. But he definitely seems like he's going to keep a theme to an album, and he's probably inspired by Eminem. I mean, who's not if you're a white dude in the hip hop community? Yeah, it's a good intro song, but I don't know if it stands on its own. All right, the next song is called "Leave Me Alone." 165 million plays. Man, I would just love to get
really quick
1,000 plays on any of my content, let alone 650 million. Jesus Christ!
I just want your opinion now, just from the one song. How do you feel about it being gospel?
He hasn't really hit he talks about his faith, but it's not
But it's not
factor.
in your exactly.
For now, we'll see. Well, let's go.
He talked about smacking the crap out of someone in that one.
Sure. I mean, you could be Christian and still smack somebody in the face. I mean, there's a lot of Christians who diddle children.
Do worse. Do lots worse.
Sorry, Christians. I'm hating the lighting tonight. I don't know. I feel like I have a Dracula shadow in my face. I don't know. I'll go back and look at it.
I'm gonna mess on it during this next song, and you can tell me.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it alone. All right,
you should leave it alone.
I'm gonna leave this light alone now that I'm listening to this next song, "Leave Me Alone" by NF. All right, "Leave Me Alone" on this one.
How do you feel about it?
All right,
do you want me to give my things
ahead.
first? Okay, so this song hit me really fucking hard when I first heard it. Like I said, so NF talks a lot about mental health, and at the point in time when I was listening to this, I was going through it, and I was kind of discovering what I feel like I'm still in the process of discovering what my triggers are. But I feel like this song specifically, there was something that I was going through that I was trying to open up with my partner at the time, of this is how I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling this way, and I'm trying to explain that this one thing that you're doing is triggering me, and there's a reason behind it and whatever, and I'm trying to explain why, and you're like, yeah, well, whatever, just do it over there, or blowing it off, but you want me to open up and tell you things, and then I'm trying to tell you these things, and you're just gonna continue to do the things that are counterproductive.
Gee,
so then just leave it. If you're not gonna help, then just bye.
Yeah. Not me, right?
No, not you. Previous relationship. I mean, no.
Yeah. I feel like I'm very understanding. I feel
you
for how
are.
fucked up I am. I
think that's why you're so understanding, respectfully. I feel like you and I are both empathetic because we've been in similar situations, or we understand what those feelings feel like.
Well, I'm coming from a place where I know where I probably lacked in a previous relationship, where I probably wasn't there enough or being as understanding. And I think you're getting the benefits of me probably fucking up before, and I'm trying really hard to be that person.
I mean this in the best way. I feel like that's growth though. Like,
Yeah.
because I think everyone has the opportunities to learn from their mistakes, and also the opportunities to say, okay, I've seen this kind of emotional whatever with
I've seen
someone
where I've been
else,
problematic, and I want to work on it because I don't want to hurt somebody again.
Well, yes, but what I was going to say, that isn't exactly what I was saying. What I was saying is, like, even for instance, I can look at past traumatic experiences with other people, or things that other people have gone through that may not have been happening to me directly, but I can see how it affected them. And whenever someone else is going through something similarly, I know how to better be there for them.
Yeah, that's fair. So for me, this song, here's one thing I will say. I think people, when you are in the faith and you are in the church, and I can tell you this from personal experience, growing up, I've always felt like my brain was different, and I always felt like I had something wrong with me, and I also felt like I thought differently than everybody, and I couldn't just let fucking things go, and I was over emotional, and I did struggle, and maybe that is, ADHD, maybe that, because I'm not technically diagnosed. I was diagnosed when I was a kid, and then we just acted like it never happened, and
Many people did.
And it's been a situation where, like, if you ask my parents to this day, one will say, yes, you were diagnosed, and the other will say it did not fucking happen, and that's not who you are. But, like, I feel like I've always felt like my brain is fucking broken, and I'm struggling, and I'm always on the brink of a fucking breakdown. But I'm not allowed to break down, because when you show emotion, you get in trouble. Or people don't like when you show emotion. Especially men. If you open up and try to talk to your boys, or just people in general, like people will push you away if you try to be open about how you feel and how you struggle and stuff, because they don't want to deal with that. And I get that, and that sucks. And sometimes they're not your people, and they're not the people you should lean on. But there was a verse in this where he says, I made my art and then I put it out to somebody and they didn't respond back, and they said it sucked.
And then when they did, they said this song sucked.
Because it kind of hurt their feelings, because he was expressing how situations are bothering him, and he's getting it out off his chest of like, yo, this is how like y'all are hurting me. And I, as an artist myself, maybe not in the form of music, but like this podcast, this thing, and like I'm openly talking about how the way people do things bother me, and it's not an attack against them. It's just I have to either learn how to deal with what they do to me, because they're not going to change, and I have to adjust according to them and understand that's just who they are as people, and I have to learn to protect myself but still love them, if that makes sense.
Right.
But like, I don't know, there was a lot of stuff in this song where it's just like staying true to yourself, making the music that you want to make, being honest with yourself, even though everyone around you is telling you to don't be that person, and stop acting out loud, and stop, let go of everything, man. Everything's going to be okay. Just stop being that. Just stop being sad. Stop being angry. Stop being anxious. And you're like, I wish I fucking could.
Right.
And how he's the analogy of like holding your balloons in front of your face, and if I let them go, I'd be more afraid. Yes, realistically, if I let go of these balloons and I let go of my doubts and insecurities and my self-hate and everything that weighs me down, that your burdens are also your comfort food, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And him holding on to his balloons is kind of like, he always keeps them around to keep himself grounded,
Right.
I don't know.
So I think another thing that I kind of grabbed from that, to go off of what you said, is like, he is talking about like his struggles with his mental health and things like of that nature.
And
but
in the
another
church,
thing
that's a no-no. You don't talk about that.
Right? What?
Like talking about your mental health issues inside the church is like, people, that's a demon, baby. Get that out of your system. Like,
I don't think it's that far anymore. I feel like things have, listen, I haven't been to church in a long time, but I don't think it even, whenever I was exiting the church, I don't think it was that. I feel like people were more concerned. I feel like people are gaining more concern over mental health now.
I don't.
But,
I think more people now in today's society look at mental health and they politicize it, and they see you as crazy, and they see you as a problem, they see you as a burden, they see you as you're going to drain their energy, and they just push you away. I'm being honest.
Okay. But what I was saying as far as like the mental health goes, he is trying to express his mental health to someone in this song, and they're telling him like, yeah, I want to hear about your struggles, but I don't think that they're really, like, it's not a struggle for me, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
So you're on your own with that. And
Yeah.
I feel like his thing there is like, hey, I'm trying to open up to you, and if you don't want me to, then fine, but don't continue to ask me about it. Don't ask me why I'm like this when I tried to tell you.
Yeah, totally agree. I gave that one a 3 out of 5.
I would probably
Actually,
give that one a 3.5.
I'm gonna go 3.5 as well.
The next song, I think, is, they kind of alluded to it a little bit in this song as well. They alluded it to in the intro. I wrote a song about changes. You should listen to it. For me, I'll let you just go ahead and play it.
All right, well, that is our next song, Change. So we'll see you in a minute. You're free. Speak how you want.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Change. This is your album check, so I'm gonna have you start off here.
Oh man, so this song, okay, so this, like I said, this album came out a few months after I moved to Texas, and I can remember the first time I heard this song, and I was already feeling like I was at my lowest low, and I felt like I got to Texas, I got there to handle some family business at first and then take care of my mental health as well. And I feel like by the time that I heard this song for the first time, I was ready to check out on life. And and this was like such a slap in the face that, like, I had called my best friend at the time. I had a very traumatic experience with my ex-boyfriend. He had a drug issue, a drug problem, and he had actually, I didn't know this until months later, but he had, a week prior to listening to this song for the first time, he had spiked my coffee with drugs and ended up stealing about $1,000 worth of drugs off of someone. And they came to our house and they raided it and they took my phone, and I had a weapon for protection at the time that they took with them, and my boyfriend with them, and told me if I left that I was dead. If I tried to call anybody, I was dead. And I was just like laying in my room. I had my Amazon Echo attached, and I was like just trying to calm myself down, and music is always the thing to calm myself down. So I just had it like, Alexa, play my soundtrack. And it played, this song was the first song that came on, and I just remember bawling, like laying in a bed that was trashed with all my stuff around it and thinking, like, this is it, like, you got to get out of this. You keep putting yourself in situations where you're trying to get better for your mental health, but you're not putting yourself in situations that are good for your mental health.
Yeah.
And so this song really hit me, I think, harder than any of the other songs on the album. I don't think it's one of the most played songs on the album, but this is that number 5 song. This is one of those songs that I would say, like, and being someone who was previously of the faith and isn't anymore, when I first listened to this song, he says, last year I felt suicidal. This year I might do something different, like talking to God more. I didn't take that as I should talk to God, as in like the G-O-D, but I was sitting there like, maybe I should find my spirituality again, find something that I can find positivity in. And actually, like, this kind of was another one of those catalyst factors that got me into kind of exploring my faith with other religions, so to speak.
Yeah, I kind of get so far from his vibe, and especially this song, is I think he might be perceived as someone who's negative and who is sad and who is everything that you don't want. Like, oh man, I'm listening to fucking sad shit again.
Right.
But I don't think he's rapping and talking about this to dwell on it. I think he's talking about it because that's just how he generally feels.
Right.
And I think if you experience that, I think it's different hearing someone talk about it than hearing if you don't experience depression, or if you're someone who doesn't subscribe to it, or you don't, like, maybe
And
you
you
just
just write
don't
a song
suffer
to
from
it.
it and
Right.
stuff, and you just think everyone around you is weird, that they're just looking for attention. 'Cause there's a lot of people who are like that.
Right.
And I can relate to a lot of things he's saying here, like where he's like, I'm waiting for something bad to happen. I could snap any minute. I need change. Yeah, that's kind of easy to say, right, but difficult to do when you feel like you hate life. And everyone around me thinks I'm a great guy, but I don't even think so. So I think I'm a fake liar. Like, I relate heavily to that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone around you is like, yo, you're killing it. You're doing amazing. I love what you're doing. But like, it's like, I don't believe you.
Right.
Like, no matter how much positive affirmation I get on anything, it's just because I've been told so long that you'll never amount to nothing, you are nothing, like, you're better off helping
not
other
enough.
people and shouldn't be yourself. Like, it's hard to break that. Like, it
And
really is.
I'm not saying you were ever told, like, that's kind of what I feel from it. When I feel like whew, here we go on the personal trauma. I feel like a lot as a kid, I was told that I wasn't doing this enough, or I wasn't doing that enough, or I wasn't being good enough, or I wasn't smart enough, or I wasn't picking clean enough, or whatever it was. And I feel like I've kind of carried that with me my whole life, is like, okay, well, what am I doing that's not enough? What am I doing that's wrong? And it doesn't, exactly like you said, people could sit there and be like, you're great, you're amazing, but the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Or oppositely, I'm either not enough or I'm too much, and I don't know how to get that happy medium. And I feel like this song really was like, it doesn't even matter what that is. Like, you got to figure out how to be the positivity in you.
Yeah, the next verse there is something that I know I should do. I'm a little uncomfortable to tell you the truth, but honestly, with you lately, I got nothing to lose. I feel like I've been full of pain now. I'm trying to make some room. Like, I feel that so hard. Like, I know a lot of people who support me and a lot of people who maybe like me but think I'm doing the wrong things by opening up more with my mental health, and I shouldn't talk about it, and I should not make my posts where I'm not a good writer. I can't convey myself unless I'm speaking, and sometimes even when I'm speaking I can't, because I'm afraid. I'm more or less thinking how other people are going to perceive me if I open up and tell you how I feel, rather than just be myself. And I have to, that's the change I'm trying to make. And I feel like for every 3 people who come up to me and say stop putting your feelings out there, there's another 6 who come up to me and be like, yo, I love your honesty, and that's what drives me to you. I love how I can see you trying to change, and it inspires me to do the same thing. So, like, yeah, I feel that. That was a good song. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. And
so there's another lyric in there that I wanted to revisit.
Okay.
At the very first, the very beginning, he says, I don't do drugs, but I'm addicted to the pain, though. I've been on it for a while. I don't know how to put it down, but it's a habit I'm going to have to break. And, like, I feel like that doesn't get talked about a lot, is that, like, I feel like people are saying, not that people are saying this, but I feel like it gets taken a lot of, hey, I'm trying to express my pain to you. And kind of like what you said, like, people just see it as like, oh, you're just being depressing. I don't want to listen to this all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, I'm not addicted to feeling that pain, but I know what it feels like, and I've been feeling it for so long that I just want to share it with someone. I want to get rid of it. I want to let go of it, but it's really hard for me to let go of it.
I think when it comes to mental health, I've been on the toxic side of, and I don't want to always say toxic because everyone handles things differently and everyone does things differently when it comes to it. But, like, I think there is that group of people who are just like, yo, just let it go and you'll feel better.
And it'll
like,
be fine.
Just let go of it, let go of it, let go of it, and move on. And it's like, sure, that's fine, but, like, if you don't deal with it or try to deal with it
first.
it'll always come back. It will. Like, if you just bury it deep down inside and keep adding more layers on top, and you're gonna crumble. You have to start breaking away at it and destroying it within. Is you have to deal with it and you have to face it head on, and that sucks, and that sparks on a lot of trauma and negativity. But the biggest thing I will say with mental health, at least for me, that works for me, is I have to hit it straight on. I have to openly verbalize it. I have to hold myself accountable. I use this content to do that. And like I said, it may not be for everybody, but I may not get the views and stuff I want, but for me, it's therapy. For me, it's putting it out there. But, like, I'm dealing with a lot of it, and I'm getting through it. And the biggest thing I'm trying to say is you have to be self-aware. You have to be self-aware you are depressed, and you have to actively work to get yourself out of it. And if it is talking, if it is something, but that burden's on you and on you alone. And you can go get help and seek help and find those people and go to a professional, because sometimes your friends and family aren't the ones to talk to because they don't know how to deal with it either. But it does have to come with self-awareness.
Absolutely. I was institutionalized at 18. And when I say that, I mean I was brought to that place. I didn't go there because I wanted to. I was brought to that place. I was checked in. I stayed there for almost 2 weeks. It didn't mean a damn thing. There we were 10 years later, around the time after this album came out, actually, I went and checked myself in. Maybe about 6 months after I first listened to this album, I was like, okay, I need that. I'm ready for that change now. I'm ready to be on medication. I'm now ready to hear that help from those professionals that I already freaking could have listened to 10 years ago, but I wasn't ready to sit with it. I needed to sit with my pain and figure it out myself and say that I was ready to heal, instead of just being like, well, I kind of feel like a lot of the time between those 10 years, between my first mental mental staycation and my last one, there was a lot that I could have taken into, but I wanted to be upset. I wanted to be crazy. I wanted to be like, you know what, everything's everyone else's fault, and I'm not the reason I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And that's still true. I'm not the reason I'm crazy, but I am the reason for, like, whatever I do has repercussions. Whatever happened to me that caused me to be this way does not affect everyone else, but how I act and with my mental health does affect everyone else.
This is gonna sound weird. I fantasize sometimes about checking myself in and going away for a couple days and just disappearing and checking my phone out and just being away and just going somewhere where I know people are experienced and will do that. But I also think the situation or the mental or the way I think that, like, going to 5P or that, like, it's always been looked at as a negative connotation. Like, if you go there, you're crazy, you're bad, that's not good. It's almost like the ER for mental health. It's like you only go there if it's an emergency, and you never know when an emergency is. Like, even when you should go to the ER and get stitches, you're like, oh, I'll glue this up. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like that mentality of, like, I'm not going to the hospital, I'm not going for help. But, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe we should normalize it more of, like, hey, if you feel like you're at a breaking point, like, maybe 2 or 3 days away and going and getting help and talking to somebody is good for you. But I don't know where I navigate on that. Like, I'm still terrified. I would never do it. But, like, I don't go to therapy.
I'll
I don't go
check
to.
you in, no problem.
I don't want to, because honestly, like, when you check in, they put that on your record too. And then when you want to better yourself, they're like, well, why did you go to a mental institution? Like, it's
Like
almost
what?
like, huh?
Like what? Better
I don't know.
yourself, like how?
Like, I don't. In general, like, I just think it's deemed as, like, a negative thing if you go there.
I guess here's my thing is, who do you think is going to see that?
And that doesn't go on your personal record?
No, that's a HIPAA violation. That's completely, it's personal.
Yeah.
Do you know who's asked me about me being in a mental health facility? My doctors. That's it. Anybody who I've worked with that's a therapist has asked me, have you had a stay like that? But, like, nobody work-wise or anything else. And like I said, I've had 2 mental health stays. I had one in 2010 and most recently in 2020.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's something that, like, I don't know, just feel like going to a professional and talking, but then, like, I just lack that trust of talking to a professional too, and, like, what if they fucking steer me the wrong way and give me something I don't want? You know what I mean? Or, like, oh, they're just gonna do like every other doc does and just bury you with pills, and, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm conflicted.
So then you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist instead, and they can't
but then you need health insurance, and that's a whole other thing too. The last song of Change, 148 million plays, and we're going on to the next one with 125 million plays, called My Stress. My Stress. We're back.
I like this song, but it's not one of the strongest ones on the album for me. This one's like, I feel it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I get it. I get the feeling, especially because of, like, I do have severe anxiety disorder, and I do feel like I wish I could just go somewhere without being on meds. I wish I could just not have to worry about the worry that I'm gonna have, and, like, I don't know, like, overdoing it just by, like, even, like, okay, so you tell me we're gonna go somewhere this weekend. I start thinking about it today, and for the next week, I'm already stressing about everything that has to go perfectly before that day happens.
Yeah, very much so. What stresses me out?
Me.
Huh?
Me.
No, I said that stresses me out then, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said what stresses me out. I was like, me.
Like, I guess this has nothing to do with the music, but, like, that's why sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to leave you behind, but there are some days where I'm just like, I would like to just go and experience something, because maybe I don't have to then make sure you're good the whole time as well.
Yeah.
And then I can kind of let my inhibitions down and have an experience, but then I also feel bad that I left you behind, 'cause I know you want to go because you want to be with me. So it's like, there's that battle of that struggle where your mental health and my mental health meet in the middle, and we're trying to do better for each other, but also, like just recently, like, you've been going out and hanging out with friends and going your own thing. You went to Pilgrim by yourself. Like, I was like, that's good. Like, I need you to go out and have those experiences and be solo where you're not. Maybe
But the whole time
not,
I've texted you, like.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was having a lot of fun too. I did have a lot.
But it's just like, I don't know. I think it's nice. I give that song a 3.5. I like it. I really have nothing else to add to it. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I thought the beats are good. It comes out very, like, the beats are very in your face, where the lyrics are more, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like, it's very, like,
aggressive.
Like, aggressive, I guess you would say. I will say this.
I didn't get to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I did the Blink-182 album review, I listened to it on my laptop computer, and it was fine. But I definitely think listening it over to the big PA system has been better, because you feel like you feel more of the music, and it's a higher quality thing. So when we are listening to this, I'm playing it via my computer, but I have a giant PA system that I use that I go to Black Diamond and stuff with, and that's how we're listening to it. And I feel like it kind of. It involves me more, if that makes sense.
So something I wanted to say that we didn't really talk about on the last song for Change, the music component of it. Yes, he's a white man singing, and I'm almost certain he's from Canada. I could be wrong though. But the last song had almost a, to me, I don't want to say a slave song or like a prison song, but it had that like, that, I don't know, if you just like played like the first 10 seconds of Change, you would know what I mean. Like it has that tempo of like, I'm being caged in and I need to get out. And I feel like that was really well done in that song. That like, yes, he's rapping over it, but the harmonies in the background of just that like almost a woman in pain really speaks to me.
Okay, that's right. Well, some old gospel, especially like if you go to black church, a lot of those songs are like the hymns and stuff like that, or those things are essentially slave songs.
Right.
Of like they're
right.
almost like that Bob Marley redemption, where you come from like extreme poverty and repression and stuff like that, or oppression.
I agree with you, but I guess to bring it to more modern, Jesus Walks by Kanye West, how it had that ooh, that just kind of that little bit of a riff, but it keeps the rhythm with it.
It's weird because I'm gonna say some controversial stuff in light of the church, but it's like when going to black church and being black with black culture and experiencing black culture, and also being white and learning what I've learned and then learning what they've learned and learning both sides of it. It's just like the Bible was used to hold people back of color,
separate,
and used to kind of control them, of saying like, hey, like slavery, like you're doing it for God's will in certain parts of the Bible, and then also them using the Bible and using Jesus and God of their way out. You know what I mean? And it's almost like a double-edged sword, where it's like one side of the book's telling you that it's okay to be a slave and you should obey his master, and the book is very whitewashed and very white guy first, and then but it's also used in black culture to be their struggle and to be their fight and to be their vindication and their way out of using God and a higher power. So it's interesting to me how both sides use it. But this next song on the track is going to be called Nate. We're only at track 5 of 20, so this is taking. It's going to be a little bit longer, but this one has 81,000 plays. It is not the lowest one on the album, but it's pretty. It's there. Not breaking the 100 million thing, which is insane. Like, oh, it didn't break 100 million, but it only has 85 million. Like, insane. It's still pretty dope though. But Nate, here we go. Nate. Wow, that was a powerful one. What do you think?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I think it's what we talked about before, self-realization. I think being self-realizing that where you struggle and what you're doing things. There are some lyrics in there that, like, you know, you kind of, I feel bad for you, but then I had to feel bad for me. Sometimes becoming what you want, it was what you're scared to be. That was a good lyric. Well, there's one that really stands out. I'm trying to find it here.
Saying that you're real, but then you're the fakest.
Oh yeah, you say your perception is you're real, but then you also feel like you're being fake and doing it. I struggle with that all the time. Like, I try to be unapologetically me, but then, like, because I'm so in a mind state of not being stuck on my ways, but like being open to change my ways, I feel like I'm being fake, because then I will counter flip things too, which I don't know, that I struggle with that. But there's another one too. I forget what he says, but essentially Nate, he's talking to himself. His name is Nathaniel, right?
His name is Nate.
Nate, but I think Nathan. Sorry, Nathan. So he is talking to himself. But there was a lyric about, like, if you think what he's going through and how he and you think he's negative now, and you're perceiving him as broken now, this is actually a better version of him, and you should have seen him in the past. And that's what I had an expression with someone recently where they're like, I'm not negative, dude. I just put it out there because it makes me feel better and it's helping me grow. But, like, me openly talking about it isn't to bring growth. You down. It's actually growth. And you're perceiving it wrong, because back in the day, I wouldn't have had the conversation. I would have buried it. I would have done unhealthy things to deal with my problems or cope with it, or I would have leaned into anger. And the music's very aggressive. And I think maybe that's the way he coped with a lot of it, was aggression and anger and maybe fighting or being violent or whatever it may be. And now he's learning to use his art and his words instead of his actions and his emotions. And he's putting his emotions and actions into his music, but the way he conveys it is through more aggressive music.
Right.
And I kind of relate to that too. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I think this is my favorite song on the album so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this one as well, where he is kind of like having that, exactly like you said. It's, I guess, I don't know if it's self-realization or more of like reflection.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, things have been bad, but things have gotten a lot better. And I'm not done yet, so like don't count me out just because you think I'm just this negative person, because that negativity is what's fueling me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get on to the next one. Time, number 6.
This is probably, I don't know how many plays this one has, but this is one that did make it to the radio.
292,000 plays. It is the second highest on the album. Yeah. No, it's actually the third highest.
Okay.
Third highest. Yeah, third highest. All right, time. Time. You want to start? You want me to start?
I want to cry. Go ahead. You go ahead.
This is one of those songs that I relate to as well. I kind of said before, I'm not the easiest person to be with or be in a relationship with or put a lot of your stock and feelings into, because I am a wreck. But I try my best to be a good person, but I'm just need time. I'm trying my best to do right by me and right by others. But yeah, it was a good song. I like it. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. I like the beat. I like the upness. I like how you said it's more of a radio vibe. I dig it. Here's a question I have for you. And maybe
I like can't stop crying.
maybe I'm making it about myself here, but also like, why did you, like a few other people who reached out to me, think I should listen to NF?
Don't make this about you, because I think you want to be more open about your mental health, and I don't think you know how to do it. And I think that you would connect a lot with him, because I feel like his journey is very relatable for people who truly have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I feel like his diagnoses, he's pretty open with. I'm not saying that I know all of his medical diagnoses, but I know he has OCD, and then he's very open with his anxiety and his depression. And me with BPD, I don't have all, first of all, there's 9 symptoms of BPD. You only have to show 5 of them to be classified with BPD. There are 256 different combinations that you could have to have BPD. So it could look differently in everybody, but there's bits and pieces that you could pick up in other disorders. And I feel like a lot of what he talks about is relatable to people that maybe don't just have OCD or don't just have anxiety. But I think that knowing you, getting to know you, and seeing your journey and seeing, I've known you for closer to 10 years now, but knowing where you kind of started and like the struggles that you've had on your journey and your mental struggles being added to that, I think that NF was something that I wanted you to experience, because I felt that it was something that you could, first of all, see that like, hey, it's okay to have those emotions and talk about them. And for 2, just because you have those emotions and putting them out there doesn't mean that people are going to look at you in a negative light. People are going to find that connection to you, like I find with NF, like many people find with NF.
Yeah.
I think you would find that connection with him, but I feel that you also exude a lot of things that he does as well. Like like you said, a lot of things can be perceived as negative, and that doesn't mean that that's who you are. You're just showing, you're bringing, what's the word I'm looking, like not advocating, but you're bringing light to a subject, and you're telling people, and you're open about it. And that doesn't mean that you're just being negative and you're saying that like, oh yeah, this sucks, this happened to me. You're saying this sucks, this happened to me, and I'm gonna keep fucking going.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely, I'm going into the 7th song, I feel more connected with him than I thought I was going to. So for you out there listening, when I used to put my Snapchats out there saying what should I listen to and what should I listen, and people said MF, I think, and NF, because I think you'd be connected to it, and Lily, who told me for a long time, but I didn't listen. Thank you. Thank you. I'm already 7 songs in. I enjoy it, and Time
Now
was
here I
one
am
that like I
bawling.
feel good about. So Time is one of those songs that I feel personally attacked, but also like it makes me feel happy. It's one of those sad songs. Like all my
But you
favorite
feel
songs are
that.
slow and sad.
You feel that acknowledgement almost of
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is
I'm not nuts.
right.
Yeah.
This song for me is a lot with, like I said, I am diagnosed with BPD, but I self-sabotage a lot. And
Sure do. I mean, I do too.
Thanks.
I do too. I'm definitely a self-sabotager.
But
I'd rather be your villain than try to fix it sometimes and just push you away. It's just easier for me to be alone than try to work it out with somebody. So I definitely feel you with the self-sabotage. You know.
so, but when I feel this song, like, or when I listen to this song, I feel like every time that I have a split, like that's how I feel. Like, I'm not trying to be crazy on you. I'm not trying to push you away. I'm having a fucking moment. Just let me have that moment. Just give me a little bit of space. I know you want to fix this like right now because that's who you are. Like you're somebody who's there's a problem, let's fix it. And I'm someone who's like, hold on, I need to figure this out. I need to feel my emotions and then figure out what made me feel this way because right now I can't focus on what made me feel this way. All I can focus on is this is what I'm feeling.
I've
think
come
that-
to terms on maybe I'm sorry if I cut you. Finish your saying.
I think that this song really. Go ahead while I look up the lyric.
When you go through your episodes, and I'm not trying to put you out there or anything, but I treat you like a fire. Like I feel like when you go through your moments, you are like a blazing fire, and there's the best way to stop a fire is you have to I sound like a safety video. In the actions of a fire, you must remove one of the 3 fuels for the fire to go out. You know what I mean? Like, you have to either stop giving it oxygen, don't give it fuel, or smother it. Smothering is not going to work for you. You need to burn yourself out. But if I feed you more fuel and oxygen and attack you when you're in your moment, it doesn't fix it.
It makes it worse.
It makes it worse. So like I'd rather you go to bed angry and you hate me or be mad at me in your moment and not talk to you and then let you go through it because then once you come back, you're like, hey, I'm really sorry I was like that a couple of minutes ago. And I had to learn because that's where I was told, like, hey, in previous situations were like, hey, when I needed you, you weren't there. So I attach harder of like, well, obviously you need me right now, and I smother. And that just doesn't, I'm finding that doesn't work for you. So I just let you
There's
go.
me like, and I think that's another thing of like, where we're finding ourselves in our relationship is that we do things differently. So like you want to talk about things and I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of the house. I need to breathe. I feel like, and it's not that you're smothering me. I know you're trying to help me, but I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. And I feel like I'm crawling out of my skin and I need to just get out of the situation. Even if I literally just sit in the alleyway and just sit on the ground in the alleyway, like I just need a minute to get away from everything.
You know what my go-to spot is?
No, I don't.
And you can have it too, because I feel like when
Is
you
it
do,
the roof? Because I tried to go on the roof and I thought we were gonna die after the tornado happens.
No, I don't
like,
do the,
I'm not going
I
on
don't do the roof anymore because that was used as a tool one time. I go to the alley in between the 2 houses, like that little entryway to the basement.
Yeah.
And I just sit with my back against one of the walls, like where the basement steps are, and I just chill there for hours. Because of the way the 2 walls are connected, it's kind of like an echo chamber, and then you still feel like you're outside. You can see the stars above your head. It's super dark, and nobody.
That works if it's dark, but I mean, I could have a split at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, but no one goes over there, and there's really no like window where people could look down and see you, or no one's gonna bother you there, and you can just kind of. I've went there a few times and just let myself go, and I don't know. You could have that too if you want it. If you ever need it, just go sit in a little alleyway.
So the lyrics that I was getting at that I feel like really hit me a lot, and I've listened to the song a billion times, but now I'm crying about it. It says, I'm a stress case. I drive you off the wall when I'm working. Actually, I'm probably worse when I'm not, and you don't deserve it. I make you nervous because you know I'm going to break soon, and every time I do, I say something that hurts you. I'll act like I'm gone, but we're in the same room.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
That's like, I know that I'm not trying to say any of this as a crutch, but I think that especially when I'm super manic, I'm like, I need to do something. I need to do something right now. I'm not doing anything, and I'm going fucking nuts. And I know when I'm going nuts, I'm driving you up the wall. And when I'm manic and I'm like, I just need to rearrange the entire house, but I'm going to ask you 1,000,000,001 questions while I'm doing this. And I know it's like...
You make your project my project, and I fucking hate that. That drives me crazy. When you're like, I want to work on the entire house, and then you're like, I need your reassurance on everything I'm doing, and I'm like, yo, if you're having your moment, have your moment, because now I need to have my moment, and now you're bringing me back into your moment. And I'm trying to be better by joining your moment in that situation. But that's what gets me too, is when you, because obviously too, when you're in your moments, you tend to want to pick a fight. Like for some reason you want to fight. Like you want to argue, you want to have conflict. And I'm not good with that. I'd rather not have conflict, and that's when I kind of just like let you peter yourself out.
I actually don't want to have conflict. Usually when I'm manic, I just want to get shit done.
Yeah.
And but it's not that I want conflict, it's that I want things to go that are in my head, like how I see it in my brain. So like for instance,
you'll attack though. You do attack. Like you do say mean things.
Can I finish what I was gonna say?
Yeah, but go ahead.
So like for instance, when I went a few weeks ago, I was making us lunches for the week, and I wanted to rearrange the cabinet that had all the Tupperware in it. And you were in the middle of getting ready for a stream or making graphics or editing or whatever it was that you were doing. But I was in that moment, I was like, okay, all of the freaking Tupperware just fell out on me and nothing fucking matches, and it's irking my soul that I've rearranged the entire kitchen, but I didn't do this one cabinet, and I need to do it now. And I know that there's a table in the kitchen, but it's all the way on the other side of the kitchen, and I could just come up here and grab our foldable table and put it right next to the counter where I'm at, and I don't have to move everything that's off of the kitchen table, and I need to just come up here and get it done. And I didn't say a word to you. I came up here, I went to grab the table. You're like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm grabbing the table. Like, I'm already stuck in my head that this is the next step that I have to do, and then I can just continue doing it. And you were like, yo, like, you're stressing out about this table. I'm like, I'm not stressing out. I'm grabbing it. I know what I'm doing. Like, I've got this. And you're like, just leave the table. I don't want it down there. And I'm like, all right, fine. It wasn't that I was mad. I was just like, fine, that's not part of the story anymore. That's not the next step. I got to find out what the next step is. And I feel like you take it as like, well, you're mad because I said you couldn't use the table. It's not that I'm mad, it's that I'm on a mission. Yeah. And I'm trying to just get to the next step and get over whatever is currently stressing me out. I want to get to the next step of how to fix that so it's not stressing me out anymore.
And that table does, like, that has a lot of sentimental value, and I'm very protective of it.
I understand that, but we can also paint on it, and we could do pottery on it with stuff down, and I just want to put clean dishes on top of it.
I understand, but here's the thing.
I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm just saying that I feel like you pull it like I'm trying to make an argument of something.
No. I think in those situations when I'm telling you that, like, hey, you can use it for your kids to do paint on and pottery on, that's a huge, like, I'm letting you have it deal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But also it's like, it's me making that choice and not you come up and just grabbing it.
And that's fair. That's completely fair. It's not mine, and I'm not, again, we're going way far off of what this...
But also, what did I do in that situation? I pulled you over.
Can I finish? This isn't this isn't what we're talking about in the music. Like, this has nothing to do with the music.
No, but this is healthy. I like this conversation.
I do too, which is why I'm trying to continue it. But so what I'm saying, though, is like, yes, I agree that things get taken out of context, and neither one of us are the best communicators in certain situations. When I am splitting, it's not, I feel like a lot gets taken personally as like I'm trying to attack you, when I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to get myself back to a base level where I'm feeling the emotions are heightened, and I need to get back to where I'm not feeling so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just need that time. Like, and yes, to get back to what you were saying, that conversation ended up happening that you were like, hey, you seem stressed out about this table. Let's just come here, let's sit, let's talk about it, take a breather, take a breath.
Let me hold you.
And and it beautifully done, I might add. Like I said, we are working on these things.
Fucking
but
nailed it.
What?
Fucking nailed it. You went downstairs and I was like, yeah, I fucking killed that.
Yeah, what ended up happening was I took all the clean dishes and I put them on the floor, and then I washed them as I was putting them away. Instead of just taking the table down.
Look at that. Look at our growth. That was a weird sidetrack. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Well, it wasn't. When I was bringing it back to, I just needed that time. Like, sometimes it's not that I'm trying to be crazy. I'm not trying to, I might have this breakdown. That doesn't mean I fucking hate you. That doesn't mean, or I might be splitting on you or having a fucking moment and like everything is driving me up a wall. It doesn't have anything to do with you. I just need that time to just adjust it.
All right. Well, we're gonna get to our next song. Oh, what do you rank this one? I gave this a 4 out of 5.
I think my crying speaks for the 5.
Full
that
5.
it is.
All right, next one's gonna be Returns, 7th song on the album. Album's picking up for another 4.5 for me.
A 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
All right.
It's right there. It's a banger.
That's a good song.
Let me go back real quick to that last one. Lyrics. Why you throwing rocks in my dreams? Oh, you want to? Why you throwing rocks? You want to kill my dreams? Telling me everything I'm not. You don't think I know those things? Like I love that. That's a good lyric.
I think the one that gets me the most in here is, am I motivated? Obviously, I don't do music, but is my music dated? Would I be the same if I was medicated? Even my therapist says I need medication. I avoid it, though, because I'm scared to take it. Am I the only one that has the loaded gun that's full of doubts and memories to overcome? And when I complain about them when they shoot at me, but I know truthfully I like to load them up and let them bang, bang.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could try to have that ammo on me, but I already have that ammo on myself. Like,
Yeah.
you're not coming at me with anything I've already fucking been feeling.
And I use that all the time. Like when people try to use my self-doubt or my openness of my self-doubt or myself everything, like of course I am. I know that. Like you're not fucking breaking me down or hurting me with your viewpoints. I'm very well aware of where I am. You know what I mean? Like I like this one. It's a good song. This album more and more as we get more into it is definitely.
How are we feeling on the Christian scale? We've heard God dropped a couple of times, but
don't mind
it's not like a.
I don't mind it.
Do you see what I mean? Where I'm saying like it's not like it's not so much on a praising God type thing as like, yeah, God's a part of my life.
I think I respect him on the fact that he's becoming self-aware. He knows how to fix it. He's trying to fix it himself. He wishes he talked to God more, but it's a journey that he has to do on his own.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I feel like that's where I would have been more in the camp. Text Elena, tell Katie I'm not ignoring her. I'm just.
My kids are messaging him while we're doing this.
Because I turned my Xbox on to check my. I'll just do that. I'll turn Xbox off so she doesn't think I'm ignoring her.
Well, now she's gonna think you're super. She's gonna be like, oh,
I just joined the
sent him
party.
the
Hold
invite.
on. I just accidentally joined the party.
One moment.
We're gonna cut this out. Hey.
She doesn't have headphones.
Yeah, she does. She's talking.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me? Hey. Hey, so I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. So I go ahead. You finish. Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you or I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I'm currently with your mother recording content. We're doing an album review, so I didn't want you to think like, oh, I was, and I turned my Xbox on for something, and I'm not really using it, but like I wanted to let you know that I wasn't ignoring you. Okay. All right, but if go ahead.
Ask her. Bedtime's at 9:30, right?
All right. Well, can I come? Can we talk about this? Like, by the time we're done, you might have to go to bed. So we'll table it for tomorrow, and then we'll chat. All right. All right. Well, if I get done in time, we'll come chat with you. Okay. All right. See you, girls. Bye.
What did they want to talk about?
She's doing VR.
I'm
leaving
they
this
got
in.
a virtual.
I'm leaving this in. Look at me. Children, look at me. Look at this guy. Crazy. It's the girls. They're the girls. I almost said my girls. I don't want to do that. No, not yet.
They're our
girls.
They're not,
They're awesome. They're good kids. I love them. Yeah, so I, real fast, I just wanted to make sure they didn't think I was ignoring them or hating them. Yeah, great song.
So we were talking about, I was asking you about like the Christian side of things.
Oh yeah, I don't mind him. I don't mind it at all. I don't think it's overdone. I don't
So
think he
now
leans
do you
on
have,
heavily.
I guess, we still have a few songs to go, but from this far in, do you think that do you regret being like, oh, it's a Christian rapper, I don't want to listen to this because he's a Christian rapper?
Sure. But also, like, I think if I would have listened to this when I wasn't in the right mind state too, I would have labeled him as. So I also struggle when I was at a point in time too where people talked about their emotions, I would be fucking pissed at them for doing it. Because I think as a guy, when you see other people doing that,
toxic masculinity.
100%. And I think maybe my toxic masculinity wouldn't have wanted me to enjoy him because he was relating to me.
Because you were feeling the things that he's felt.
Totally. So I don't know. The only thing I'll say about this is I don't know who Sasha is or Alex Stallone, but she's obviously the chorus, and they put a something on her voice
Like
to give her more of a higher pitch.
Yeah.
I wonder how she felt about that, because normally, like, you're not letting me showcase my actual voice. You're putting something on me.
I will find I'm gonna find the original for you so you can hear it.
What do you mean?
The voice clipping.
Well, we'll do that another time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
yeah.
do. I'll find it now. So you
But
can
our
hear
next song on the album is going to be "Let Me Go." This is the 10th song on the album. We're about halfway through. We are halfway through. There's 10 more to go. Some of these are interludes, so there is another song that's kind of like nothing, the next one. But we'll keep going along. This will be a little bit longer one. The editing is going to be awful. As we get to the halfway point, let us know in the comments section videos or music or things you want to do. Let us know how we're doing, if you like the pacing of this, if you're listening to this with us, or if it's something you've already listened to and you're just here to hear our take on it. Or if you're NF. Thank you. You do make great music. I know you probably never listened to this.
I've been saying I'm going to go see you in concert for years because you saved my life with multiple albums, and it will happen, hopefully, before you stop going on tour.
Actually, let's see this real quick. Is he on tour right now?
He was in town last year. Me and Sarah were going to go, and it just didn't end up happening.
Not on tour. So I seen like... he sings a little in this song, the last one, where he kind of like sings a little bit. I thought it sounded nice. I know he's a rapper, but I thought he has a good singer.
He has a nice singing voice too. He does it in time as well.
Yeah, I would have. I think I would like to see him
sing more.
Maybe sing more, or maybe when I think about collaborations, we'll get to another thing. I think him and Post would make a good little collaboration song. Yeah. All right, let me go.
Pause real quick. Don't give me a fucking ad. I just want you to hear that, because she has her song is called The Only. So here we go. This is her song.
All right, we're back. Let me go.
So what are the numbers on this one compared to Leave Me Alone?
Let Me Go is 81 million, and Leave Me which one? Leave Me Alone?
Yeah.
Leave Me Alone is 165 million.
So I think that this song has the same overall story, but I think Leave Me Alone is, I'm trying to tell you what's wrong with me and you don't want to hear it. And this is, hey, I've already told you what it is, and now I'm past trying to explain it to you.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, respectfully fuck off.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. I got that same exact thing. Like, listen, if I tell you how I feel and you still don't want to hear it, then like, there's nothing for you. Honestly, I'm immediately recalling to a thing I just put on Facebook not that long ago, where it's like, someone approached me to tell me how I made them feel without them, because I was responding to actions done to me, and they try to tell me how I was this bad person in their eyes and everything that they think I was doing wrong in their eyes. But every time I try to rebuttal to tell them how I felt of why I did what I did, they were just demeaning it as if I was angry or if I was
you can't have
making
those
excuses.
feelings because it doesn't. It's not in line with what their feelings.
Your feelings and your rebuttals don't align with how I feel about you and my perceptions I've made about you. And it
doesn't make me the bad guy. It just means I have a different perception
kind of like
on
this
life.
song for me is like, let me go then. Like, get out of my face. You obviously don't care enough about me as a person, respect me enough as a person to listen to my side, because you've already had your perceptions on who I am. So at this point in time, I love you, but just go over there.
Right.
Go over to the other side of the room. Your energy and me are never going to align, because you already have preconceived notions of how you feel about me. But you don't want to hear my side of why I feel the way I feel.
You just want to have those feelings for me.
Yeah, you want to control your narrative.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I respect that. I like it. I gave this a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's a bad song, but it's...
This one to me is like, this is a 4.5 for me. This is really close to being a 5. Like,
okay, I think it's a banger. It's good. All right, well, we'll get quick through the interlude here, and then we'll be right back, because I think this is only like a quick... 49-second song that has been listened to 23 million times.
I don't know if it's really a song.
I wish I can record something in 49 seconds that 23 million people can listen to. That's fucking crazy.
You could.
I make a podcast. I'm going to be honest. I make a podcast that they don't even break 10 plays on the audio side only. And YouTube, they only break 15, 10, 5 plays. It kind of is depressing and embarrassing, that the views that I get. But I don't know, but then someone comes and talks to me and they're like, yo, man, I listen to what you say and I'm really connected to it. And it's like, all right, well, out of those 5 people, someone got something out of it. Awesome, you know? But here's the interlude. All right, interlude. Yeah, not always chasing your dreams is what the
Grass
dreams are
ain't
meant to
always
be.
greener on the
Yeah.
other side. You gotta still water that grass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's more of what the
I
thing
think-
was like, yeah, I got to here, but this isn't. I thought that this was gonna make me happy, and happiness isn't just having your dreams come true. It's still working at those dreams.
Yeah, I give the interlude a 4 out of 5. I like that little story. I liked it. I always tell the people this too. I think a lot of content creators that I talk to and I collab with and I grow with, they think once it blows up, then they can coast. Mm-hmm. And because they grind so hard to get to the blow up, and then they feel like when they get to the blow up that they're gonna just coast. And I feel like a lot of content creators don't study the game and don't study entertainment and don't study the way the world works and study other artists and what they go through. I think they see the numbers and they see the artists and they see them on tour. They see people like loving them and respecting them and think that it's all amazing. And I don't think they realize that once you do then make it and you have a larger growing audience, that you mentally have to prepare yourself for a whole new game.
Yeah.
And a lot of content creators I fuck with and a lot of people I talk to, I don't know if they're ready for that game. It sounds fucking stupid, and I can never ever put myself in a mindset where I'm gonna ever be that big, but I think about it every day. And I think about how I have to keep myself humble and grounded and keep myself based in a certain way that if it does blow up, you need to be mentally ready for it. Like, I'm already preparing to the next step and putting myself in the next step, even though I'm nowhere fucking close to it. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people do that. And I think it was very cool to hear him say, like, I'm the #1 selling artist. My tour is completely sold out. And
Except for one.
And I feel like I am at the lowest of my life. And that's powerful. Very, very powerful. All right, let's get to the next song. It's called Hate Myself.
I will probably cry through this one also.
All right, we'll come back and Lily's make will be all over her face.
It'd be like that.
Chapel Row style. Bye. Hate Myself. How you
Go
feel?
ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I liked it. I kind of just vibed with it. I like I said, I think a lot of this I relate to again. Like, am I a likable person? Do people actually perceive me the right way? Am I like, I don't care what people think. I always care. I think I care more if I'm understood, or if, I think that's my biggest thing. I think I struggle with more if I'm being understood more than if I'm liked. I don't care
feel
if
like
I'm liked or not
that's really
liked.
like the meaning of this song,
Huh?
though. I got a completely different meaning from this song.
Yeah.
The
Tell
song
me what
is
you
like
think.
saying like I see where other people are coming from and I want to help them, but I can't. How can I help you when I can't even help me?
Sure. Yeah, that's in there as well.
The lyrics that I think really, there's a few lyrics in here that really get to me. Hold on. And of course I just lost it. I had it saved. Here we go. So he says, like, I don't like doing interviews because I don't like who I am. But he says, I'm trying to find it. He says about, like, I feel like you don't see me, and when I don't feel seen, I feel like I'm worthless, like I'm not needed. And I feel like that's kind of, here we go. It says, I feel like you don't need me, and when I feel like you don't need me, then I feel like you don't see me, and if you do, my life has no meaning. Drain me, hands out, I'm trying to ask for love, but when I get it, I just pass it up.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that really speaks with me, because it's, I think that I get perceived a lot as, and this is me speaking on my emotions, not saying that this is actually how it is, but I think that I'm that friend that could get, like, out of sight, out of mind. I'm easily forgettable, and I feel like if I'm not doing something that's positive or productive in someone's life, like, they don't really care about me, or I'm not really,
I feel that too.
I'm not worth being in someone's life. And so that's, like, those lyrics really hit me, because it's like I feel that personally, like, not even just in a relationship, but, like, I'm looking for acceptance at every corner. And I feel like if I'm not doing something that's worthy of that acceptance, then I should just disappear.
Yeah. I feel like I'm very ever rarely invited to the events or to the get-togethers or the hangouts. And then when I do go, or I do get invited, it's like that's the one day I do have something scheduled when it comes to content or something I've already kind of perceived myself that I'm going to go do. And then I feel like people, I don't know if I'm being perceived as that I'm too busy for people, or you know what I mean, or if I genuinely, like, I don't know, like, and like that struggles a lot with me. Like I that's one of the things I hate myself with, where I finally somebody invites me to something and then I can't be there, and I feel like shit, and then I don't get invited again, and then I feel like lonely again, if that makes sense. But yeah, definitely out of sight, out of mind is somehow I struggle with too. All right, let's get into the next one. I Miss These Days, track number 13. We're zooming along. Miss the Days. I don't think it's like I think it's a good song. I don't know if it's as strong as the other ones for me, but I think it was still impactful.
So
I'm at a 3 out of 5 for this one.
So this song always makes me teary-eyed too. But going back to like when I first listened to this song, I wasn't in the best spot. So these lyrics right here. When did I start believe I wasn't worth it, then question my purpose to breathe, wondering who I should be, happiness out of my reach, scared to get back on my feet, need to get rid of what's detrimental, but it's hard to let it go. When you think the thing that hurts you help you get to your dreams.
The beats are amazing. It's a very well produced album.
So that whole part in the song though, I felt like I was at this point, like I said, I had just been, I'm in the process of going through a breakup with someone that's really not good for me. But this song, like, I think it spoke to me in that time because I was missing my kids so heavy, and I needed that reminder of like why I went down there, what I was trying to accomplish while I was down there, and like miss the days when we can just go out and stare at the rain, and miss, like, I associated that with like doing those things with my kids and having that innocence and having that happiness, and all of this shit could be going bad and everything could be spiraling out of control, but there's still something good to look on. And even if it's a memory, like that memory you can hold on to that memory, even if it's something in the past, to like keep you going forward. Yeah,
I have a hard time when it comes to doing things as a kid, because a lot of my childhood is like the hardest of fighting for acceptance. So like it's hard for me to reminisce and like a lot of things growing up, because a lot of it was such fighting and feeling like how we said earlier, feel like you're drowning. So I don't have a lot of those early, my favorite moments as a kid is me by myself and the things that I liked, if that makes sense.
And I think that's fair, because I feel the same way. I didn't have much of a childhood in a way of like, I rode a bike for the first time. I think I was in like 6th grade, and I had a bike, but like we never went out and rode our bikes. I didn't have friends to hang out with. Like I couldn't go out, and I didn't really have a childhood. Like for context, I have a sister who has cerebral palsy, so my sister didn't go out much. I stayed at home because my mom was always at home with my sister. So I also had a very sheltered childhood, but that's another story. But I don't really reminisce on, like, I can't tell you like positive attributes about my childhood because I don't really have many of them. And it's not that I had a horrible childhood, but I don't think of things of like, oh, the good old days. Like, I spent most of my childhood wanting to get out of my childhood home.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the next one. Track 14, No Excuses. All right, No Excuses.
This is another song that's like definitely one of that's like on my hype list. Of,
really?
Like, I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I could see that. I could see it being a hype song. When it comes to just for me, I think I give it a 2.5. I think he leaned more heavily into the hooks and repeating the same things over and over. So I think the song structure didn't do it for me, but I think the message is good. I like the message. I didn't hate it. When he talked about interviews, I maybe got a little attacked, but no. But no, I like to do my interviews where I like to learn about the person, but also he said, like, at least be aware of who you're in the room with.
Right. And so there's a little bit of a story with that. I'll have to look into. I don't know the full story, so don't quote me on it.
The internet did his research and found the interview he's talking about.
I will find the interview, but there's an interview in question where this dude's like, so what kind of gospel music do you sing? And he's like, have you even listened to my stuff? Like,
yeah.
Totally. But there's another a song, I don't remember which one it was now, where he's talking about, I sent this song to No Name, and a few albums later you'll find out who No Name is because they ended up fixing their beef, squashing their beef, and then they worked together and collabed on a song.
Who was No Name?
I will show you later.
No, all right, whatever. You can just tell me now.
I'm gonna make you review another. Ugh. Hobson.
Who?
Hobson.
I have no idea who that is. You know what's funny too? This song too kind of gives me the whole no excuses of like, you can't say you know me if you don't take the time to get to know me. No excuses too. where like I have people who are part of my day one clique, like who listen to me do a podcast of like comic books and pop culture stuff, and we're like, I didn't know you knew that much. I'm like, yeah, I'm more than just a wrestling guy.
Right.
I'm very more diverse. I think a lot of people think that my wrestling content or everything, oh, I don't like wrestling, so I'm not into it. But then I have people who are like, man, I got back into wrestling, I got my kids into wrestling because of your content, which is fun. But like, I'm definitely more well-rounded. It's just I lean heavily into wrestling because I enjoy it. Like, that's my
Right.
favorite thing. But I'm definitely a fucking comic book, superhero, Ninja Turtles, music, pop culture, like horror movies, paranormal. Like, I just do what I'm into. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really stretch myself out to make content. I don't know. Like, I struggle with the paranormal because that's where I'm least knowledgeable. But like, I also feel like I have to give a history lesson when I don't think I have to. Like, I'm trying to struggle how to find truth behind illusion. But I think we just find a topic, talk about it, give a general idea, and then talk about why we like those things. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm not here to teach anyone something that you didn't know awesome, but it's just generally saying how I feel about the topic. Like, that's where I'm at. And if like, if you don't like it, then it's not for you, and I understand, and find someone who is a content for you.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's
Absolutely.
for you,
All
let
right,
it sit
number
with you.
15,
If it's not,
like
let it
this.
go. Go on to the next.
Like this.
This one kind of falls flat for me. Not that it's like falls flat, just on the album. I like the slower songs. I think that most of the slower songs are the ones that get me emotionally. And I think that this one was like, I think it's one of the weaker ones on the
I think it
album. I
blends
still
in.
really like it.
I think I'm at a point in the album where it's like a wrestling card. I think when you have too many matches and they're all the similar matches, I think by match 7 you're like, all right, I think this is the time to close it. Give me a main event and let me get out of here.
Your next
But when
song's
you're
your main
into
event.
like album, or sorry, not album, or you're into match 11, 12, 13, you're like, I'm burnt. I'm burnt out. There's nothing else you're gonna show me that I haven't seen with this night. And I think in the album, like I get his message, I get what he's trying to do. But at this point, and into track 15 and track 14, I feel like the album's now coming down for me. Where like you hit me with so many 4 and 5 songs and some 3.5s and stuff. Now it's like I heard it. You're just giving me a different beat with the same things with different words. You know what I mean? Like it's all kind of repeating itself now. So for me, like that was a 2.5. I like the message. I like the beats. It's all there, but it's all starting to blend together now. And we still have 5 more songs to go.
5 more songs to go.
I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like if we're at the blending together point, I feel like I might be not burnt out, but like, yeah, I don't know.
You're not paying attention to the lyrics no more?
I'm paying attention and just like how many songs can I listen to that are the same message over and over?
They're not.
They are. They're very similar. They're in the same ballpark.
I think that it's okay.
Like I feel like an album you still have to kind of give a little bit of variety, and I feel like he stays to his style, but I think 20 songs of his same style, I think it gets a little burnt out. Like I get like being sad and struggling with your things, but like 20 songs of that, I need a little uplifting. I need a little, you know what I mean? Huh?
I don't think they're all
Yeah.
sad.
I don't know.
I think there is.
Opinions. These are the options.
Options.
Very heavily on these are the options. These are the options. These are the options.
What are the options?
He has to make it or make it.
Your options are make it or make it. There is no fail.
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's why I gave it a 3. But I also think it's another song where it's just like everyone's doubting me. I have to keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like another not a self-doubt song, but outside perception say that you're not going to do it. And his perception is, all right, that's fine, but I'm going to make it or make it.
Well, you said the options, or you said that everything can't be sad, and we need a little bit more.
Well, it's either sad or it's everyone tells me I can't do it, but I'm going to work really hard and get there. That's kind of been the trend of, like, he has like 4 or 5 talking points, and it's repeated across 16 songs now. And it's just like, give me something other than, like, I'm getting a wrist lock, I'm getting chain wrestling, I need a little something else in the match to get me a little more excited. And if I watch 7 matches...
This one's a 4 for me. I love this song.
Yeah. I don't hate it, but it's just like, after 16 songs, I need a little something different.
This is another hype song for me.
It's very hype.
Like, let's go.
I get it, yeah. But it's maybe the same song that was slower and sad earlier, just a little more hyped up now. But it's still the same message. I don't think he's hit me with anything I haven't heard from him yet. 17 songs in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of blending for me. I'm at a blending point. I don't hate it.
I feel like you're not gonna like the rest of it then. Like I feel
I
like
don't
I'm upset because like I'm not upset.
If every
but
album
it's
is like this, where it's the same 5
yeah,
talking
but I
points.
feel like it's not just. I feel like yes, it is, but I feel like it's the way that they're put together.
Yeah.
altogether,
And
I
falls
think
in this
speak.
trap too. Like, either I listen about his mom, his ex-wife, his daughter, or his drug abuse, and it's every single song for 20-some tracks, and it's like,
For
give me
20 some years, but
Yeah,
like it's
and
still
it's-
successful.
It is, but
it's
it
still
just
stuff
to
people
me,
like
it's
to
just like
listen to.
I can't. I'm bored with it. And then he would what makes Eminem.
Okay, well let's get through the last three.
What makes
then, if you're
Eminem
bored
stand
with
out
it.
and make his album go is every now and then in a song he will throw a little comedy and humor in there. And it's like, oh, that breaks it up a little bit. That adds a layer to his song that makes it funny. Or he's gonna say something controversial, what keeps you there. But he's not. I'm not saying he's not, because he's not cursing and he's not being funny and he's not adding humor. But it's just like there's no, like, I feel like I've seen all of his tricks in his bag. Like, it's good, but it's just like it's working. It's hitting the marks. It's doing everything it should do. But it's just like I have 3 more songs of generally the same tone, same tempo, hardcore beat with, I don't know. I'm just waiting for that breakthrough or something different, and I don't know if I'm going to get it. And if
You'll
all
get
of his
it.
albums are like that,
You'll get it.
It's
You'll get
like-
it on the last song.
all right, let's get to the next one. This one's called Why. Why? I feel like the middle of the song, he came off as an asshole. I'm not invited to the party, but I'm showing up. Like, just like once again,
But
we're
he's given the "I don't belong here" vibe.
yeah. It's like, well, then don't be there. Like you're saying that you're always in your own head and you're overthinking, you're struggling, and you have anxiety, and everyone's telling you to hold yourself back. But then like you kind of insert yourself around those people, and it's like I feel like you're better than that.
I don't think that that's how it was taken. I think, or I don't think that's how it's supposed to be taken. I think that it's more of like, if you're going to keep doubting on me and you're going to say, I don't belong here, let me show you how I do. And I might stand out and I might not be just like you, but I am just as good as you.
I give it 2.5 on this one.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I thought
I
you were
think
going
I'm
to score
winding
this
down.
one higher.
I think I'm winding down
That
here.
hurts.
Yeah. Well, our next song is gonna be called Thinking. We'll be right back. Thinking.
I feel like this song was like written for his wife, like where it's more of like, hey, I feel like I've been trying to push you out where you've been trying to be there for me. And I'm realizing now that like maybe I shouldn't be pushing you out as hard.
Yeah. No, I like the messages. I like that was pretty good. I just think maybe in the pacing of the album, it just I think I'm on the wind down. I'm coming down from the high. It's a 2.5 for me, but I don't hate it. I don't dislike anything I'm listening to. It's just, once again, I think my brain is like, I think I've hit my capacity.
Yeah.
20-song albums are tough for me. So this is the last song of the album, but then there's a bonus track that is an edit of a song we've already heard. My camera just is not on me that entire time.
Ooh.
So yeah, so if you're listening to that, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I think because I got up, it face tracked me and followed all the way over.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I do
So
like that.
I guess take 2. So Trauma.
No.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
It wasn't trauma.
Trauma's next. I'm not gonna redo that because I don't know how to go about it. But anyway, here we go. Trauma, next one on the album. Trauma. That's what I wanted. I wanted something different, and it hit me on the last. It hit you on the last song. I think it closes the album out very nicely.
Yeah.
I gave that a 4.
So that's another 5 for me. And the reason why is when I first listened to that song, as someone who has had traumatic experiences with a parent, like, I don't see this as like a reach for help from someone that you know loves you. I feel like this is I'm asking somebody who was supposed to be there to help me, and you told me you would be there for me. And you said you were going to do all of these things for me, and now that I really need you, where are you? And I just want your love. I want your acceptance. And you weren't there for me when I needed you.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that too. All right, last song on the album with the bonus song is going to be Time, but an edit version.
And I would like to say that I really appreciated when I first listened to this album that they did end it with this, that they added the edited version in it, because I think that the overall story has a really nice message. But I feel like if they ended it on Trauma, like, I would have just, you know?
Yeah. So Time was also on the album before.
This is like a remix, so to speak.
So I'm going to be honest, I have to remember what Time was. I gave it a 4 out of 5, so I guess once we start going, I'll
You'll
catch
remember.
back up, but I'll find out what's different about it. But the last song, bonus track on the album, Time, number 20. All right.
What is
so
the actual time difference on there?
10 seconds? 10
9
seconds?
seconds, I think it is.
The actual song is 4 minutes even. This is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So they cut out 10 seconds out of the song.
So it's literally just the instrumentals at the beginning that they cut out. It goes right to like ba-boom. It's
Yeah.
not here's a little bit of the piano first. It's just, here's the song.
Yeah, I think I like it. I think that's fine. It's still a 4 for me. It's a good
Yeah.
song. It's a good way to end it. It's more the radio version.
Right. So like I said, I think that the reason that I appreciate it being there is because like the last song kind of was more of like a deep in your feelings. And not that this song isn't also, if you do recall, I was crying the first time we heard it. But it's more of that upbeat of like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, just give me time.
Yeah.
Time heals all. Yeah, I'm happy I listened to it. I thought it was good. I think the overall album for me is going to hit probably like a 3.5 for me. I think it's a good album. It does have me a little worried going into more albums of NF, knowing that like maybe it is like a lot of songs of the same tempo, same beat, same thing. So that's my only maybe fear going and listening to more NF. But I didn't hate what I listened to. I thought this is a good album. I thought you picked a good album for me to listen to. I do relate heavily to him on certain aspects.
I went back and forth between The Search, Mansion, and is it Hope? The one with the clouds on it.
Yeah.
There's 3 different albums from him, but I felt like this one was going to be one that connected to you more.
Yeah, I thought we nailed some things we liked, the things we didn't like as the songs went. I think my impressions have changed on them. I'm excited to say more. I gave my scale. And anything you want to close out with?
Well, I would say my overall for it is this, like I said, there are a few albums of his that I felt like, I know a lot of people, I feel like he would be someone who would hate to hear that like, oh my God, you saved my life. Like, no, I feel like he would be like, no, you did that. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like his art altogether just hit such a special place in my heart that it's like, I feel very connected. I feel seen almost.
Travis
like
McCoy makes me feel that way.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Like that's someone that it's almost like they just wrote the words that were in your head.
Yeah. I mean, the NF does that too. I think NF realizes, I think listening to NF, we realize that we're a lot of our struggles are the same and we are all in the same boat. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It was really fun. I do like how in these two making the content together of also reflecting on us or maybe how we connect as a couple through some of this stuff too. I think that's kind of fun. I don't know how the people listening at home like that, but once again, no offense, I don't give a fuck. I make this for me.
There's him and there's me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm done apologizing for my content. I can't break 100 views per episode, and that's fine. And maybe that's the problem of why I don't grow. But like NF, I don't care. I don't care. I make it for me, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
On to the next one.
Find someone. There's a lot of people out there making art. Go subscribe. Go love. If you do like it, thank you. Leave some comments below. Let me know some albums or movies or music you want me to review or anything other pop culture. Maybe there's something you want me to check out. I'm also into independent stuff. So if you're an independent artist and you want me to listen to your albums or anything like that, we will be mixing those in there as well. Thank you, Lily, for joining me again.
Thanks for having me.
Maybe we'll keep you around longer on this content and let you hang out more. But that's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time. And I have to go edit and relax. And I think it's nice outside. I think I'm going to maybe go for a walk. You want to go for a walk? Are you down for a walk?
It's like 9:30 at night and we have to be up for work.
How about we sit on the porch and smoke a little bit?
I'm cool with that.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.